Today I am going to go for a 2.2 mile run over lunch, and then tonight I'm going to the Austin bike night with some friends to do some laps around the F1 track. And for a type 1 diabetic like myself, it can really be a lot to think about and a lot to plan for. I have to think about my insulin intake leading up, my carb intake before I start the exercise. During, I'm monitoring my blood sugars and considering any adjustments I need to make. And one of the hardest parts for me is actually post-exercise. I tend to see a rise in my blood sugar, and I'm still learning how to keep that down and keep it leveled out. So I'm going to document that process, and we'll start with my pre-fueling strategy. After some coffee, I'm going to make sure to eat a high protein, high fat, zero carb breakfast. The protein and the fat are going to keep my blood sugar from dropping really fast. On my pump, I'm going to enter it into my endurance profile. This is a custom profile I've created. If you want to see what it's made up of, you can watch the YouTube video on my channel. Basically, it gives me a lot less insulin so I don't drop low. I'm also going to eat a protein bar before I start my exercise. This one has 25 grams of carbs, and I'm not going to bolus for that. My strategy is that I bolus after my exercise. After a little warm-up, I set the watch and it's time to go. That was the flattest line I've seen for my blood sugars while exercising in a very long time. I think it's because I'm trying to stay in an aerobic heart rate zone, so I'm not doing anything high intensity. My pace is pretty slow. I'm even sometimes walking, and that just helps with the blood sugars. So that's done with. Next up is the Austin bike night. As far as my strategy for bike night, it's pretty similar to my run. Before we leave, I'm going to put my pump into its endurance profile. That way I just have less insulin on board by the time we get there. I'm also making a drink mix with the Performance Fuel 30 carb mix. That way I just have something while I'm riding to sip on that's giving me some carbs. And I'm packing 2 RX bars in my bike bag in case I need an extra boost while I'm riding. Alright, it's the next morning after bike night. The ride went really well. My blood sugars were a little high, just riding like a little over 180, 200 area. I'm honestly okay with that for a ride like that. If you watch my MS150 video, I talked about a friend who told me he adjusts his range when he's doing long exercises. And so to me, it's okay that I was a little high. I wouldn't want to be like 300 or anything like that, but 180 to 220, that's okay with me, as long as I can get my blood sugar back down after the exercise. So it was good, and that wraps up this video, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Thanks for watching.